Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of the Regen podcast where we talk about teen related topics. I'm Vivienne.
I'm Joanne.
I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Hans.
So, in today's episode, we'll be talking about school and the struggles we face, specifically to do with studying and living a balanced life. So, we've prepared three main questions to discuss today. The first being, when should I actually start studying? And do I need to study hard in year 7 to 10, or do I start studying hard in year 11 to 12? The second question, what is the main cause of our procrastination and cramming? And question 3, how to balance and prioritize a school life, studying, and ministry. So the first question, when should I actually start trying? So do we study between year 7 to 10, or do we actually start in 11 to 12? What do you guys think?
I think we should just ask, like, people who are in year 7 to 10.
Okay, well, I'm going into year 10. I'm in year 10 this year, and I mean, I don't feel like it's that important. Like I don't know. I'm definitely different to Joanne, because like Joanne goes to a selective school and I go to a private school, and I feel like it's still not that important, but I still need to like try my best, and like I don't know. In year 10, like I'm still fine to miss a whole month of school
Wow.
and be able
So
to
lucky.
catch up, but I feel like even like in everything that we do, we still have to try our best. As in like, in 1 Corinthians says like, in everything that you do, do it for the glory of God. And so, in everything that you're doing, including your studying, like if you're not trying your best, then it's not for the glory of God.
Yeah. I think it's like the same for me. I guess the better way to put it is that like we have to try our best. It's not really about like, oh, you have to like study really hard, like pull all-nighters, like
Yeah.
year 7 to 10, because that's not. I guess it's good to be like trained since young with like good study habits, because obviously you're not gonna learn that overnight, like just suddenly in year 11 or year 12, just suddenly like buck up, I guess junior years are like essentially the period of time that we can like trial and error, because our marks like don't have as big of a weightage as they do in year 11 and 12. So I guess for me, like I'm going to year 9, I guess see like what methods work best for me, like our style of learning and all that. But I guess from me, I'd just say like try your best in everything, because what we do is like not for man, not for like impressing anyone, not for like pleasing our parents or anything, but for God.
Yeah, I feel like you don't lose anything by studying it from between year 7 and year 10. Like
You
Like,
lose
of-
time.
Yeah, you can't hang out with your
well,
friends.
you don't need
Yeah.
to pull all-nighters, but
Yeah.
like you should study, and even not just from a Christian perspective, but like in general as a decent human being, you don't lose anything studying. And like, yeah, I guess as Joanne said, you build study habits, because like I didn't study much between year 7 and year 10. So once you get into year 11, once you hit that point, you get like shocked, like the workload changes a lot. So yeah, of course those habits don't build overnight. And I guess an issue with like teens, I think, is settling for the bare minimum. So like you can't just do your work like just enough so that you can hit submit. You actually like have to. Of course, you don't have to be pulling all-nighters between year 7 and year 10, but yeah.
But, like, alternative perspective. Like, there's so many other things. Like, year 7 to 10, I feel a lot of people as well. Like, there's a lot of, like, two different kinds of people. There's the ones who actually, like, study too much. And there's ones who don't study at all. Okay, so baseline, I guess we've agreed that, yeah, you gotta like do some study. Don't like just not submit your homework and be like the dog ate the homework, or like just not a cat, or just get all those detentions. But like, so yeah, study. But like alternative perspective, if we're like, okay, I'm focused now on my study, and I'm just gonna like start studying from year 7 because I'm gonna be ultra prepared for HSC. I'm gonna get that 99.95 ATAR. You're gonna like if you're that kind of person, is you like your life's also kind of sad. Like school is not everything, right? Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe for some people school is everything. No, but like we're saying school is not everything because like there's more to life than just school. Like just your family, your friends, like and like even a lot of things you learn at school. Like you've got other talents and other potential in you that's not school related. Like even things like how you learn to become a social person, how you learn to interact with other people, how you learn to love others, like you can't learn those kind of things at school. So I feel like there's other things that are more important as well. But like yeah, how do you guys think we should find like the balance between?
Well, I guess school should be like the priority because right now, we're like teens, our calling is to be like students. And so obviously we have to study, like we have to go to school. But then again, there's like all these other things that we're called to do. Like we're all like we all have family, we're all like siblings as well. And we have our church life and also our social life with our friends. So I guess it's just like prioritizing things and time management so that all the things can like fit together, I guess, in a good schedule.
But how do we address like this cultural issue? Because like different parts of the world, like if you're listening, for example, and you're like in Asian countries, you know how like
Wow.
basically like from kindergarten you're like study.
Yeah.
But like that kind of culture doesn't really exist in Australia as much.
Yeah.
Maybe it does in selective schools, does it?
A little bit, but not that much because I guess other people like come from different schools as well. Like they all have their own like upbringing. I guess it kind of depends on how you grew
Yeah,
up.
yeah, true. Because I think in like my school, like it doesn't really matter from like year 7 to 10. Like you can like not do your homework and the teacher's like, oh, it's okay, you can submit it tomorrow. Or like,
Mm.
or like you don't even get that much homework. Like you just come to
Yeah.
school and then after that your time is just free. You can just do whatever you want. Um and then it only gets sort of serious in like year 11 and 12 where there's actually like a big workload. But like for example, if we are in like year 7 to 10 and the culture is like this, like how should we approach it?
I don't know. I mean, like you can't. I mean, we've said this. We've already been through this. Like, you can't just not do everything. You still have to do it. And like when there's like when there's a test, it also depends how bothered I am. But like, I would like write study notes, and that's it. I would just write study notes and maybe read them after or like before like day before the test. And that's all I would do basically. And I would do fine. I'll still get like high marks and
Wow.
it's
Flex.
fine for me. No, I'm not saying that. As in like
School's not just not that hard, right?
yeah, as
For you.
school's not that hard in the lower years, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not as demanding. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess everyone's like definition of trying is different as well. So like my trying wouldn't be Jeremy's trying.
Exactly.
Maybe Hans's trying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like everyone has different like levels of that. And I guess you just need to know like the limit and like where the line is between like not trying or trying too hard because yeah, it's like important.
I feel like when we're teens, we kind of feel like everything is like really hard, but I guess as we grow older, like of course our struggles get worse and worse progressively. So it's not like it'll always be harder, so we can't just neglect everything while we're teens now. Because like it will get harder, and if we neglect it now, like we lose the habits, the good habits.
I think also like when we talk about like because a baseline, like we agreed, like we've got to develop those good habits and that we have to learn to be responsible as well. Like we're called to be students, so we should do the study to a work like an acceptable amount of study for to make sure that we're being a witness to other people in our study. It's not like where people look at us and be like, oh, why did you not even do your homework? Or like you're a Christian and you don't do all these things. But like I think at the same time, like we're all gifted with different talents and abilities, and also like different amounts of talents and abilities. And I guess like the parable of the talents in the Bible, like there was one with like one talent, one with 2 talents, one with 5 talents. And then the one with 5 talents and 2 talents like cultivated their talents. And when the master came back, they produced double the amount of talents. But then the one with only 1 talent just buried it in the ground and then just gave it back. So like the last talent, the one who just buried it was called like a wicked servant because he didn't cultivate what was given to him, his responsibility. So I think it's like the same for us. Our talents might not be in like academics and school, it might be in other things. So we have to give time and responsibility to develop those talents. Like could be other skills outside of school. Like, I don't know, sports or like camera things. Like you don't get to do that in school every day, do you?
Yeah.
So like yeah, those kind of things. And then like even other talents, like if you're good at caring for people or like you're just sociable, good at being friends with other people, like those kind of things, they're things outside of the classroom. And so I guess it's learning how to find our talents and then developing them so that what we're doing is that yeah, we're developing the things that God has entrusted to us so that we can prepare from the little things when we get older, like God can use us with those things.
Okay, I guess that leads us to the second question. What is the main cause of procrastination and cramming? So I don't know about you guys, but I guess for me, procrastination is usually like two things. One, a lack of like planning what I'm going to do, when I'm going to do it, how I'm going to do it, which is yeah. And then the second thing is like I guess out of selfishness, like thinking that even if I do the bare minimum or even if I do it last minute, it's going to be okay. Like I guess that's based on personal experience as well. Like on time, I had an assignment due at 11:59 and I started at school at lunch on the day it was due. And
Oh, no.
not a flex, but I got full marks.
What?
So,
What?
things like that, I guess, is what, like, I mean, that happened once, but I guess as you do it on and on, like, it's not like I'm getting in, like, future assignments, it's not like I'm getting full marks either, but you're getting, like, okay enough to the point where you think it's alright. So you keep doing it over and over again.
Sure.
But I guess, like, I started studying recently.
Oh.
Like, I don't know, I find it hard to study for, like, science, but I guess maths, because you can actually practice. And, like, you can see the results.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the things that causes me to procrastinate is just feeling unmotivated to do it. Like, cause like, for example, like watching YouTube, you never procrastinate to watch YouTube or like scroll through Instagram, but you procrastinate to do things that you're not motivated for, like studying,
Waking up.
chores, waking up early, and just yeah, like all those responsible things that we have to do as like growing up to become adults. But I think the question is more like, how do we find that motivation?
Yeah, true. As in, okay, for me, I think it's like getting distracted by everything, including our phones, which is like, I don't know, my screen time, I feel is like really bad. And
Tell us.
no, okay, on average, like last week, I got 6 hours a day. And then, like,
Exactly, you're just very motivated
mean-
to look at Instagram.
I mean, 6 hours, it's not too extreme, I think.
How many hours of sleep do you get?
Well, it depends. As in, like, sometimes I sleep at like 12 and then, well, because it's holidays right now. So, as in, like, I can still wake up at like 8 and it'll be fine. But like when it's school, you can't. You still have to wake up at like 6:30 and get ready for school. And so, yeah. No, what is your guys' screen time?
It's like an hour. An
Oh,
hour and a half.
What?
Very productive.
Wow. Okay.
In the holidays, I'm 5 hours. But I don't know, it's kind of, because on the school days, I have more screen time than my sleep, which is it's screen time on my phone, not even my laptop. It's not
Yeah.
even schoolwork. It's
Laptop
literally
would be,
my phone,
Yeah, a lot worse.
which is pretty concerning.
Yeah. Well, yeah, mine was just on my phone as well. 6 hours on my phone. And that doesn't include my iPad and my laptop.
Yeah,
So-
like sometimes you're like trying to do something and then you're like, oh, I want to take a break. And it's
Yeah.
like a 30-minute break, you like look at your phone and it becomes like 1 or 2 hours. Just
One
keep
more
like
episode.
scrolling. Yeah.
I think the thing is though, a lot of time we compartmentize. I don't know, put our lives into compartments and be like,
Yeah.
okay, now I've got to do work, and this is work, but then I can take a break and then I can look at my phone. But I feel like we can't see it that way because, like, as Christians, when we've given our lives to Christ, then that means we've given our whole lives to Christ and we surrendered from like living for ourselves to living for God. Because if you like put it in compartments, it's like, okay, I've got to do work just because it's my responsibility, or I've got to do this because I'm a student. But then my me time is me being able to enjoy myself, doing whatever I like, looking at my phone, watching movies. And then so that's about me. But then these other work things are about just because I have to, otherwise I can't live. But I don't think we should see it that way. We should see it as in like God's called us not to be selfish, but that we give our whole lives to Him. And so like the motivation that comes for like our work and our things is because God has entrusted that to us, and like even we surrender our like me time into God's hands. So like even hanging out with friends and stuff, God uses that to shape us. Christian fellowship, when we hang out with each other like Christians, we encourage each other, and then also like being friends with the world, it's like we're trying to reach out to them. But I guess this is like sort of an ideal sort of we should think this way, but it's not really like what we go through every day. So like,
Yeah.
what are your guys' experiences?
I think it's like mostly laziness. We're like lazy and we just don't want to do the things that we're like, I guess, supposed to do or like we're responsible to do. There's like all these other interesting and like, I guess, fun things that can distract us, and like you just choose to do the things you want to do instead of like what you're supposed to do. Like that's me.
I feel like sometimes it's because you're too used to it. You don't want to do it again because you're so bored of it. And then when there's something new, you start with that. Like I don't know. I feel like ministry sometimes when there's something new, you feel all like motivated,
Yeah.
and then you're like, yeah, but then you neglect your schoolwork because like, oh, it's another exercise. Like,
I don't know. I feel like when I get too comfortable in something, I'll just not want to move. As in, like, okay, I have this
So you
thing.
get into comfort with your bed and you never wake up.
Exactly. Because, like, okay, I do this thing sometimes. Like, after I shower, I would, like, after like a hot shower, like, and then I'd lie down on my bed and look on my phone, and then you're
me
not
too,
never
me
get
too,
up.
and
yeah.
you're not gonna get up until I don't know. My mom starts screaming at me, or like it'll take a lot of willpower for me to get up, and I don't know.
Yeah, see, I think like a lot of the times we lose that motivation, but like, do you think we can be able to like reach a level of like where we are sort of motivated to do these things from like our inner selves?
I mean, like it will come from like growing in Christ and reading the Bible and learning to love Christ, and when you like reach that love and your own desire to to love to love Christ and to do like the things that you have to do, and I don't know, it just comes in maturity, I guess. And as as you grow older and also grow spiritually, like you'll learn that you don't not to waste your time, and yeah, but it's like it's a hard thing to do. It's an easy thing to say, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's like like obedience thing as well. It's like um you know what you have to do. It's like God's called you to serve, for example. And like there's all these things you have to do, but they're not just like tasks, as in you don't just do them because you have to, but like just from yourself, like you want to obey and like you want to give your time, like your prime time, especially like in the teenage years, for you to actually like serve and do all these things for God.
I guess there's this time in my life when um so I used to like to play games a lot.
Clash Royale.
Clash Royale. It's pretty good actually. Back in the day, it was like all new and stuff. Anyway, that was like in year 8. So I used to like find that, and I used to find like that was the motivation for me to kind of keep going to like go back to schoolwork. So when I go home, or on YouTube as well. So like when you go home, I would like watch YouTube or like play games first, because that will get me like remotivated to then after that go back and do my work.
What? Okay.
Does that work?
It sort of worked for a bit. But it didn't work when you like end up losing a lot, and then after that you just got
You
really
lose your
bad.
trophies.
Yeah.
By the
Lost
way,
all my
this-
trophies.
This isn't a calling for you guys to do that as well. It's not.
I know this was me in the past. I'll tell you like what happened, what changed. Okay, so and then after that, I guess as I started to grow, more and more, I guess I learned that, uh, what actually like this is down practical. Okay, so there's this time after that, I don't remember what happened, but I just remember now that I started reading the Bible, like because I didn't do that before, but I started reading the Bible, and actually, I don't know what changed, but playing games somehow got replaced with reading the Bible. Like, it was a long process because
Wow,
things
wow.
happened. Things happened in the middle. It wasn't like a big jump, but I just don't remember it clearly. But I just remember like bits and pieces. So like after that, I started reading the Bible. And actually, I would do it like in the afternoon, like when I got home from school, when I felt demotivated. I think a lot of times, at that time, I was also struggling with a lot of other things. Like, I think I felt really lonely and like anxious, and a lot of other things as well. But in that time, like God used that time for me to be able to come to close to Him and His Word, and I actually started reading the Bible for myself because I've grown up in a Christian family and I know all the Bible stories and stuff. But reading the Bible for myself was actually a new experience. So that actually, I don't know, somehow God used that and processed that, and He gave me a new motivation from seeing His plans, His will, His Word, and knowing that God was my identity, that He's my comfort, and that I had a relationship with Him, and that He knew me, and that when I was able to grow in those things, like I'll come home and then I'll spend time in God's Word, and then everything else, like it was a joy to do everything else because I know that those were the responsibilities that God gave to me. So yeah, practical thing, like reading the Bible helps with motivation.
Okay, so next question, Viv. Let's
Next
try-
question 3. How to balance or prioritize your social life, studying, and ministry. Okay, so I guess as students, like, of course we need to study and like prioritize school, but yeah, as Christians we also serve God and then having a social life. So I guess because like we have our weekends at church, so yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't like on school weeks. I don't really go out with my friends much. Cause, I mean, like as Viv said, like we're kind of, I don't know. I'm not gonna say stuck, but like our weekends are filled with church things. As in, like on Saturdays, there's like prayer meetings, and we have like meetings and rehearsals and practices for
Orchestra,
and everything.
camera stuff.
Yeah, and then like we also have like recordings and things, and also Sundays basically from the morning until like afternoon. It's just all packed, and so that doesn't leave us any time to like go out with our friends and have a social life on the weekends, and as in like when it's school week, you have school, and like my parents wouldn't allow me to go out with my friends like during school sometimes. But yeah, I don't know.
But like on top of that, we still have like tutoring and like
Yeah.
music practice, music lessons. So it like literally leaves no time.
Yeah.
And
Do you
I feel
find-
like it's like different priorities for everyone. Like say you're a really social person and like you need that social interaction like with your friends, then obviously you would have to adjust your schedule like depending on how much you prioritize your social life. But like people like us, I guess, social life comes last, unfortunately.
Is that like really sad?
Yeah.
Well, we have our
we
social
have
life
our friends
together.
in church.
Yeah.
But I guess with like school friends, like, because I have friends that find their joy, I don't want to say like joy, I guess, but like joy from being social and being with their friends. And if I can't give that to them, like, am I a friend? Like, it
Yeah.
kind of hurts to not be able to give that to them.
Mm.
Yeah, I guess going back to the priorities thing, like how do we balance our priorities? Well, it's interesting when we talk about like joy, right? Of what gives us our joy. Like, do we find ourselves happy living this sort of life? Well, like you guys talking about like being in church all the time.
I mean, it's kind of cool actually.
We're cutting that out.
No, we're not. We're keeping that in. Anyways, I mean, I don't really feel like depressed when I go to church. I don't. But like sometimes, I don't know, it just falls as a routine. As in like waking up early, going to church, doing all the things that we have to do. And I mean, it's fun in a way, but like it's not sometimes it's not like the joy, like the you know what I mean? Kind of. No. But like there is some times where we get to serve together and it's really like joyful. Full of joy.
This sounded so enthusiastic.
Yeah, you don't really sound very joyful.
I'm sorry. I don't know what to say,
You can
but
just say I'm depressed at the moment. I don't know.
I'm not. I'm not though. I don't think I am.
Yeah.
I guess I feel like we usually like separate our school, church, and social life. I guess like Han said, like the containers, it's not really like about separating each of them and like thriving in school but neglecting church. It's more like we first find our like meaning, our purpose in God, and then that lets us grow and live our best life in each of these aspects as one.
Living our life to the fullest.
Living our life.
Yeah, but like, I'm sorry. It's cool.
As cliche as it sounds, like it's actually true that how like I guess a lot of time that what drives us is what motivates us. And it's until that we can have that personal relationship with God and actually get to know him in a personal way that we find that he is our truest joy, and just being with him in a relationship with him gives us our contentment and satisfaction, our identity, all that we ever need is found in him. And then that way, like we don't go about these compartments of our lives saying, I need this to fulfill me, or like I need my friends to fulfill me, I need my like good grades to fulfill me, or I need a church life to be seen as a good kid, and then that fulfills me. But like all these things, like everything that we need to be fulfilled is found in Christ when we have that personal relationship with him. And then after that, all these other compartments are part of God's good plan for us to be able to serve him, be able to know, like, yeah, serve him, do his work, and be able to spread, I guess, this knowledge of God and this relationship with God with others, our friends, in all these different compartments. So yeah.
I also feel like with our family, we also have to like put that as a priority in a way. But like everything is also a priority. But like our families, like if we do like doing all our schoolwork and like doing all ministry and stuff, but we neglect our family and our chores and spending time with our siblings, and 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 like with your family, it's not like I don't know. You still have to spend time with them and do your chores, and you have responsibilities at home, even though they may seem like little things compared to like I don't know all your studies and everything else. But you have to be faithful with the smaller things that you do, and um
I feel like there's a sense of like separating your spiritual life from everything else.
Hmm.
It's like even if you're like at home like doing the dishes, like it doesn't seem like you're preaching or something, but you're still at the end you're doing everything for God. And then like I guess it's weird to say it's your calling to wash the dishes, but you do you live in that house, and it's still your responsibility. And like I feel like we always say like, oh no, I'm studying, I'm doing this ministry, I have so many things to do. You neglect your your housework, and that's not it.
I mean, my mom like always says to me like, if you can't be faithful with the smaller things that you have to do, like all the smaller responsibilities that you have to do in your life, then how can you handle the bigger things? And how can you do all the, I don't know, what seems to be bigger ministries or studies and things like that?
I think going back to what Joanne said before about obedience, I think it's really important because like it's about obedience in all aspects of our lives, including our family lives and including the tiny things that no one notices, but God notices and He knows. And so, yeah, learning to walk with God is learning to trust Him that He will satisfy all our needs and that He will become our fullest contentment and that He will give us all that we need. And because of that, then we can trust Him to obey Him and to walk with Him and do these responsibilities that He's given us.
So I guess all of us are still learning and we're still growing, including our parents and siblings. Like they're not all perfect. And I guess that leads on to our next episode. We'll be talking about like more on the family and how that ties into our school and like expectations and pressure on all of that. And I guess that's a wrap for today because
Yeah.
we're all hungry.
Yeah, we're all hungry.
So
Don't forget to subscribe and tune in with our podcast.
Yes.
And
Follow us on Instagram,
check out
regeneration
our website,
_Z.
yeah, our website as well.
regenerationz.org. Once again, regenerationz.org. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So make sure you follow this podcast as well, wherever you're listening to, and keep updated for all the next ones. And be sure to share with all your friends as well. And also leave your questions and your comments on our website so that we can hear from you who are listening. So yeah, bye.
Bye.
Bye.